What's up, everybody? Last video before New Year's, so I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. This is a little bit different. You'll see what this video is about in a second. First, I want to thank all the patrons. Really appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys have monthly lessons that are due and we haven't done them, so hit me up. You know how to get a hold of me, and let's get those lessons taken care of. But I really do appreciate you guys. Let's get into the video. This one is a little bit different, or a lot different. So I'm sure you guys have heard of Temu. Well, they contacted me and asked me if I wanted to make a video with a bunch of stuff that they would send me. So I went on their site and I picked out what I thought was the best stuff to try out. So right now I'm at Lake Street Skate Park, my local skate park, and I'm gonna put together a complete with these trucks. These are, I believe they're called Enigma, and they're not cheap. I think they're 55 bucks on the site. Now these trucks actually feel really good and solid, like a solid pair of trucks. So I'm interested. They've even got the reversed kingpin in there. So I'm interested to see how these feel. And here I've got a set of, I believe they're called Hugh Viper Great Strength 54 millimeter wheels. The wheels feel nice and hard. It says here that their hardness is HR100A, and they're made out of a PU material, so polyurethane material, same as every wheel. Classic mold, so not too thin, not too thick. And then the next thing that I have is the Free Sport bearing, diabolically fast. So actually part of this is like the Speed Demons branding. And I think what's going on here is that these are the companies that manufacture for some of the skate companies that you might know. Speed Demons used to be a bearing company and wheel company out of Dwindle, but I think they've been out of business for a long time, and I think these are just old Speed Demons bearings. Now, the only thing that's leading me to that is the branding, and on the back it actually says Speed Demons. I don't know if that's in focus, but yeah. And the next thing I have is this conspicuously similar to a unit tool here with no branding. So I'm gonna put the board together with that, and I'm gonna be using my own hardware. This is Ace hardware, and I'm gonna be using my own deck. The deck is a prototype from the distributor of my skateboarding brand. That's Club Distribution. They sent me a prototype of this 8.3 shape. So I'm gonna put all of this Temu gear on my deck with my hardware and clear Jessup grip tape, and we're gonna see how it skates. All put together, so I have taken a little ride on it. First impression, the trucks feel really solid, and the bearings actually feel like they're pretty fast. The one critique that I have is that the wheels feel a little bit softer than 100A, at least on the normal durometer. So I don't know if maybe they're a little bit softer than they claim, but they don't feel bad. Now, I haven't actually done any tricks. I'm probably gonna have to tighten the trucks because the bushings feel softer than I like, but all of you guys know I like my bushings extremely hard because I have to have my trucks medium, and as about a 209-pound guy as of this morning, it's hard to keep a board tight when you weigh as much as I do, or hard to keep it medium. So I'm gonna have to tighten up the trucks, but I will go roll around in the park first. So a little different. The wheels are not quite as hard as usual, but other than that, everything feels good. Okay, so session's over and I got a few conclusions about the gear. So one thing, this deck is a prototype. It's not the shape that I'd usually skate. So some of my session was impeded by the fact that the nose and tail are so steep compared to what I like. Steep nose and tail takes longer for your board to make contact with the ground. Doesn't work for the way I set up my feet. So I'll put some of the slams from my front crook, for instance, in there. And I slammed pretty well a few times because applying pressure to that front crook was different. It was a different angle than I'm used to. But overall, these trucks are definitely solid and they feel like Thunders. Now, I haven't skated Thunder trucks in a long time because I've been fortunate enough to have truck sponsors for probably the last 15 years, and Thunder hasn't been one of them. However, there was a time pre-sponsors where I skated pretty much exclusively Thunder trucks because I skated at Hollywood High and we would get trucks secondhand from Eric Ellington and some other people. And these remind me of those Thunder trucks. Now, the bushings are not to my liking. That's just because these bushings are pretty soft, and soft bushings are not what I prefer. So, whoa. So kids are shredding right now. They're enjoying themselves. Nothing wrong with that. I would change the bushings out, but for you guys, and especially you guys who are part of the loose trucks trend, I think you would enjoy these trucks. I think that for 55 bucks, I'm not sure what a normal set of trucks costs these days, but I'm pretty positive it's more than 55 bucks because when I was buying trucks, a set was $50, and I haven't had to pay for a set of trucks in probably 20 years. The wheels were a bit disappointing, and not that they're low quality, however, they were much softer than 101A usually feels with, say, acid wheels, which I skate because they are my sponsor. These feel more like a 99, which is actually pretty good for a beginner because they allow you to roll over some pebbles and cracks. Although you're not gonna be able to do certain slides. Like for instance, when I was doing the long tail slide, when I was doing the long front nose slides on the ledge, I was getting stuck and I put a lot of wax on the ledge, but I could feel that it was because of how soft the wheels were. And also for you guys that are used to skating relatively hard wheels, it doesn't sound the same when you're on the ground. And sometimes the audio feedback that you get plays into your skating just as much as the visual does if you're anything like me, and the tactile sensations that you get. Now, the other standout from all of this gear was these bearings. These, I'm pretty positive that these are just rebranded old Speed Demons stock, and this is probably the manufacturer who made Speed Demons bearings, and these bearings are phenomenal. They're quiet, they're fast, they didn't go to crap in the middle of my session. My session was about 74 minutes long, and I didn't stop the entire session. I burned about 1,241 calories, so that means it was a pretty heavy non-stop session. And a crappy set of bearings, if you have any experience with a crappy set of bearings, they'll usually fall apart within half an hour if you're skating hard. I weighed 209 pounds this morning. In a skate session, I can lose 3 to 5 pounds, so give or take 3 to 5 pounds, and these bearings held up under me pretty well, so I would recommend these bearings. Now, I'm going to leave links to where you can purchase all of this stuff in the description. And thank you to Aria from Temu who reached out to me to make this video. So if you're in a financial situation where this stuff is what you can afford, I can definitely recommend the trucks and the bearings. The wheels I would recommend for a beginner, but someone who's at my level, someone who's been skating for a while. If you're gonna be jumping off of stairs, I can't recommend the wheels just because they're a little softer. Now, my other con is that I wasn't able to choose the size of the wheels or the trucks. And that can be a problem where this is an 8.38 and you can see these trucks are about the size of an 8-inch board. So it doesn't really bother me because I could probably skate a plank on wheels and be fine. I've skated for 25 years. I've done it at a pretty high level most of the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But for a lot of you guys who want to choose your size, you're not able to. So if you guys watch this from Temu, you might want to include the option to choose the width of the trucks and to choose the size of the wheels. Now these are 54s and I skate 54s, so it's not a big deal for me. Thank you, Temu, for sending me this stuff. I had a fun time making this video, and you always need content these days, so I'm happy when somebody throws me some content. And thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year, and more videos to come.